let us agitate, let us not compromise, let us push. The mantra that Ruto must go must be heard across the republic, must not be dropped. It's a demand that must be resound everywhere. He must not continue being in office. He has failed, and he has failed in a very dramatic way, whereby even his budget has been rejected. And in any civilized society, in any modern state, when the budget of a government is rejected, it's an absolute vote of no confidence in that government. So there's absolutely no way Mr. Ruto can continue clinging on to the office of the President of Kenya. So that demand said must be made, and we need a transition that is bloodless. We need a transition that is clear. And when I say Mr. Ruto, I mean plus Rigiji and his cabinet. The entire Kenya Kwanza administration must go. We had another coup that happened in Parliament. People elected MPs. And MPs came in from various formations. We had Azimio, we had Kenya Kwanza, and we had an independent like me. But what happens is that as soon as the elections were over, some Azimio MPs were induced to cross over to Kenya Kwanza. Kenya Kwanza did not have a majority in Parliament. So President Ruto is governing with an assumed false majority. Maybe if the equation had remained the way the Kenyans had decided it, we would not be where we are. All these people who crossed over need to be held accountable by the electorate, and they should be among the first people to be recalled, because the people voted for them on a certain platform. They crossed over, and therefore they must be paid. They must be made to pay, because these are the people who have given Ruto the false assumption that is almighty, that even if the people decide in one way, he can change that decision with the flip of the finger. So all these things need to be looked into, and people must be held accountable for how they have behaved in public office. We have got institutions of law enforcement, including the EACC, including the Auditor General, and all that. The Auditor General is required under Article 229, I think it's clause 6, to audit for lawfulness and effectiveness. I'm yet to see a single report of the Auditor General that meets that threshold. Why is that? Why do we have so much vagueness in the reports of the Auditor General? Today, people are agitating, audit the budget, audit the public debt, audit the public debt. Article 229, clause 4G, expressly requires the auditor to audit the public debt in the last 6 months. Within 6 months of the closure of the financial year. Why are we asking for an audit today? Why has the Auditor General not been auditing? And if he has not been auditing, where is the report he has made to anybody that he has been denied access to documents on the public debt? What the president did the other day, that was arrant nonsense. You cannot appoint a task force to look into, to take over the mandate of a constitutional office holder. The president should simply have, if he really meant it, he should have breathed down the neck of the Auditor General. He should have breathed down the neck of the Auditor General to demand that the Auditor General audits the public debt. We don't have to waste more money on this thing called the task force, which might even be used to cover up the issues. We need to be told, and it's very easy to audit this debt. We have got all debt must be in the Appropriations Acts. We have got Appropriation Acts from 1963 to date. Were these debts approved by Parliament or not? And then how are they used? If the dates are, if we have got an odious date or any date that did not benefit the people of Kenya, or that was acquired in a manner that the law did not allow, that's a date we should not be paying. And if we pay that date, then we should auction those who were in power at that time, who exposed her to that date, to ensure that they are surcharged so that the state is not the one that's going to pay for them. We've had a very big problem in this country where you hear that they have written off a date of this fellow, the date of Kanyawes has been written off, the date of Mimias Sugar has been written off, the date of whatever has been written off. All that practice results in transferring private debts onto the public debt to bail out these companies. So these are among the things we must do. And the pressure must not be lifted. Let us keep demanding. And the real pressure is that this government must collapse. This government must cede way. There's no way this government can midwife the future you people are demanding. There's no way a hyena can midwife the birth of a lamb. It will eat up the lamb plus the mother. So, if this government stays, it will eat up the vision you are having, the baby you are going to give birth to, and it will eat you people up. It will dismantle you. So this government must just see office. It's about it. Nothing is impossible under the law. The people are sovereign. And so the Kenya Kwanza government has lost the legitimacy to govern, and they must vacate office. And we do that in a procedure. We must come up with a process where there's an agreement how they vacate office, and new proper elections be held, and only those people whom Kenyans have elected in a very clear, open and transparent election are allowed office. Otherwise, we're just going to go through the revolving door that has been messing us up since independence. We have been going through a revolving door. You have got assets that were grabbed from 1963. Public land. It is known. It's in private hands. How did it happen? That land, the public. Some of that land was deliberately set aside for government institutions, for public institutions, for research, and all other things. Today, the government of Kenya hardly has any land. So that land must be taken back. And it's you people to do it. Because this country still has some modicum of civility. If we degenerate into now, the narrative goes into armed conflict. We may not be able to resolve our problems in a sober way. We might go the way of Sudan, Somalia, where the state then collapses completely. But when the struggle is within a civil space, like the one is happening, not a military space, we can achieve quite a lot. And so we must demand that before we degenerate to a military situation, let us resolve our issues in a civil manner. Let us hold those who are accountable, and let us appreciate that the new constitution was a ceasefire for a new republic, not the continuation of the old republic. So the ceasefire document called the Constitution of Kenya 2010 be the North Star, must be the constitution of the new republic. Let us look at each constitution and make sure it's implemented. But with a lot of people are lawyers and whatever in this platform that we have, let them and the necessary things be done. If it is being quashed by the court, so be it. If it's being amended through Amendment Act, let so be it. If it's being repealed, let them be repealed. That way, if we can just implement the Constitution of Kenya 2010, we'll be okay. Those who say that we need to amend the constitution to accommodate individuals, to accommodate this and that, should be stopped, should be blocked. Let us implement this constitution fully. Then only after that, if there's need for amendment, let us then amend it as provided in the constitution. We can't begin amending this constitution before we implement it. And there has been never a problem, there's no problem with the law up to this time where we are. As long as we don't implement the constitution, we cannot blame it for our problems. And so the history and the struggle of this country, to put the people at the center of the struggle, is a struggle that began in the 19th century. It has been there in the 20th century. It's with us in the 21st century. And all along, it is subverted. It's subverted by the vested interest in the state. Right now, we are knowledgeable enough. We have got a very, very informed society. You saw that when you called for the demos, the issues were very clear, the issues were universal. And this is not the first time Kenyans have become a tribal. Whenever it's called for it, whenever there's been a call, whenever there's an existential threat to the Kenyan state, the people have come out without referring to the tribe. You can look at the history of this country. Even during the Mamo struggle, there was a lot of support from all over Kenya, although the 80% was in Central. You had what you called an unbogable revolution that put President Mwai back in power. The people were united across tribes. You had a referendum that came, the 2005 referendum. The people rejected across tribes. So, the unity of purpose has always defined Kenyans in the moment of need. Right now, that unity of purpose is defining us. But it has always been aborted because we never carried the struggle through. We leave the foxes to watch over our chicken, and they eat them up. So this time around, please, let us not allow the foxes to watch over the chicken.